And yeah, so we are going to record this. And if you aren't comfortable being on camera, you can just go ahead and switch off your video because we will be sending this out to the rest of the club. All right. And then Andre, do you want to give a quick little intro? Andre, are you there? Okay, so, well, we can come back to Andre. He might be having some computer issues right now. So a little bit about Best Buddies. Best Buddies at UC Davis is a chapter of a larger organization called Best Buddies International. And our mission is to promote inclusion for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, which we will call IDD for short. So just remember IDD equals intellectual and developmental disabilities. And at UC Davis, we move the Best Buddies mission forward by creating opportunities for one-to-one friendships between people with and without IDD. And then I see we have a question. Tristan, did you want to ask something? You can put it in the chat too. All right, for now, we're going to move on to the next slide.
All right. I've got I have sort of problems with verbal communication, so it takes me a bit longer to put my words together. So I'd appreciate it. So that's why I used it. I've been using the chat. I just wanted to make sure that you knew to have that open.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So that I can communicate easily with everyone.
I should get a piece of paper.
I can't totally hear you right now, but it sounds like you're saying you'll be using the chat to communicate. That's totally fine. So everyone can use the chat if they're more comfortable with that, or the just speaking out loud if you're more comfortable.
Also, I think I heard Andre heard Andre a bit.
Okay. Well, Andre,
so
we'll have you
sorting out whatever problems he has.
Good to know. So we'll have Andre and Landon introduce themselves in just a minute. We have a whole slide about them. And then for now, I'm going to ask everyone to just mute if you're not talking right now so we can eliminate some of the background noise. All right. So Best Buddies International. Again, we are a chapter of Best Buddies International. And I'll give you some quick facts about the history of Best Buddies. We currently have 3,387 chapters in all 50 states and in 49 countries. And it was founded at Georgetown University in 1989 by Anthony Kennedy Shriver, who is JFK's nephew. And he was inspired by his aunt, Rosemary, who had an intellectual disability, and then his mother, Eunice, who was an advocate for people with disabilities, and she actually founded Special Olympics. And then the logo was designed by Keith Haring, who is a famous activist and artist. All right. And then we'll get into the 4 pillars of Best Buddies here. So the UCD chapter is part of the friendship pillar, where we create one-to-one friendships between people with and without disabilities. And then next we have the jobs pillar, where we create opportunities for employment for people with disabilities who are usually underrepresented in the jobs market, even though they are capable of holding those jobs. And then we have leadership development, which helps you figure out how to write a speech and how to public speak. And then our last pillar is Best Buddies Living, which creates opportunities for people with and without disabilities to live together. All right. And then if you have any questions while I'm talking, you can just pop it in the chat, and then we'll get to it after the presentation. Okay. So friendship at UC Davis. Again, we are part of the friendship pillar. So we're going to have something called buddy pairs is the main feature of our chapter. We have buddies who are people with intellectual and developmental disabilities who are matched in a one-to-one friendship with a peer buddy. And these are mostly community members, but some of them are also students. And then we have peer buddies who are people without disabilities who are matched in a one-to-one friendship. And this is UC Davis undergraduate and graduate students. And then lastly, we have associate members who are people with and without IDD who are not matched in a friendship, but they still attend our events. And then here I was hoping that Landon and Andre could tell you a little bit about their friendship.
Yeah. Andre, would you like to go first? I can also talk first if you don't mind. And then I do know he was preparing something too, so I can talk while he's getting that ready. Don't know if he's having technical difficulties, but I don't mind talking. So yeah, Andre and we got matched last year in November at the match party. Since then, we go to Best Buddies events together, but that's just the very start. I also visit him at work at R&R, which is a thrift store, if you guys have been there before. It's everything righteous and relevant. And then we talk about things like music. We've been to the Arc together. We text back and forth. The whole idea is like, if you have an idea for something that we can hang out and do something together with, just let your buddy know. Just for an example, earlier today we planned meeting for Burgers and Brew tomorrow. So it's a lot of just like getting to know your buddy, and it all starts after the match party. I really enjoy this club. I would have never met Andre and all the other really nice people in this community if it hadn't been for Best Buddies.
Awesome. Thank you, Landon. And I'm not sure if Andre has sorted out his technical issues, but Andre, do you want to say something as well? Landon, do you know if he's like working on?
Yeah, so he's got oh, I see his face cam's on.
Oh, yay.
Feel free to put it in the chat too.
No emergency. Can you catch me up? I'm sorry, I had to do something.
Yeah, so I was just hoping that you and Landon could talk a little bit about your friendship. And Landon was saying how you guys got matched in November and you love to just hang out, like going to Burgers and Brew, going to the movies, stuff like that. Do you want to tell us a little bit more?
Okay, sure. I can kind of add on to that. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I just worked. So basically when I got matched with him, I was kind of nervous because I kind of am nervous around new people. I really have very bad social anxiety with new things and new people and new like activities and stuff. So when I got matched, I was kind of like closed off a little bit. I usually am. So when we started talking, I was like, oh, I can be more open and be more confident and be like, I know I won't be judged like some other times I've been judged by some of our buddies I had. And I was like, oh, I could be who I am and not give an Andre about who cares.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Andre. I think you made a really good point there. Yeah, I would not be as confident as I am without my friends. I would not be where I am without my friends. So it's really just a lot of great stuff that can happen when you get matched in a pair. Tristan, did you have a question?
Hello, Andre. Hey, Andre. I remember seeing you at a special Olympics or something like that. It's nice to see you here.
Not sure if Andre can hear us, but so I'm just going to keep moving through this presentation and then we should have about 10 minutes in the end. All right, so yeah, we should have about 10 minutes at the end for if anyone wants to say hi or ask questions. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the next slide. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. So we got a great introduction to the friendship program from Landon and Andre. But here's just a little bit more information. So we do require buddy pairs to meet up at least once per month. And this could be at our Best Buddies events or hanging out at Burgers and Brew or anything that you guys want to do. We also require that you talk 4 times per month, whether that be by phone or text or email, whatever works best for you and your buddy. And then we also ask that if you are having problems, communicate with your buddy and communicate with the officer team if you think that you need help. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid to ask for help. I know some people are more shy and it can take more effort to get to know someone. So just let us know and we can support you with that. So I'm going to try to play this cute little video from Best Buddies. I am not so sure how the audio component is going to work out, but please let me know if you, can you hear it? Okay.
No,
Wait, can everyone hear it?
not really.
No. Okay. Let's see. I might have to stop share and then see if I can make the audio work. No matter how many times I do that, I feel like I always get it wrong somehow, but I think it'll work. Can you hear it? No? Okay.
No.
All right, then we will skip the video for now and I'll just go ahead and put it in the chat at the end and I'll also email it out when I send the recording. Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide. So friendship updates. As I mentioned, there are going to be buddy pairs in the club. You're going to be matched with a buddy. And then the way that we kind of check up on you guys are called friendship updates. So this will be a Google form that is sent out every month by our friendship coordinator. Her name is Carissa. And then we're just going to check in and make sure everything is going smoothly and that all the members are meeting requirements. So that was the meeting up once per month and talking to each other 4 times per month. And then also this year, we're going to be choosing a new buddy pair to highlight on social media and in our newsletter each month. So that's a great incentive for submitting it. And then also each time you submit a friendship update, you will get another entry into our end of year raffle, which is going to have some pretty cool Best Buddies merch in it. And then here's some examples of questions that could be on your friendship update. So how do you feel your friendship is going? How many times has your buddy reached out to you this month? And how many times have you reached out to them? And do you need support from the officer team? All right, so we'll move on to the next slide here. So at Best Buddies at UC Davis, we have chapter events. And one of those Landon mentioned is called the match party. And that's where everybody finds out who they're matched with for the year. And we usually do some sort of fun activity to announce it. We don't just say, all right, here's your buddy. So it's a fun event. And then we also have holiday parties like for Halloween and Christmas. We have arts and crafts nights. We have bowling, movie nights, and much more. And then separate from our chapter events, we have events that are hosted by the Best Buddies state office. And so that includes the Friendship Walk, which is basically a massive Best Buddies fundraiser. And it's a celebration of all the work that we do. And that will be in April if you want to attend. And then we have Champion of the Year, which is another fundraiser and celebration of our leaders of inclusion at Best Buddies. And that's actually new to Sacramento this year. So super excited for that. And then there are also going to be leadership trainings. So I mentioned the leadership pillar is where you can learn to write a speech and give a speech. You can also teach someone how to write a speech if that's something that you're knowledgeable about. And those will be hosted by the Best Buddies state office, and we'll send information about that when we have it. All right, let's see. All right, so I've taught you about the basics of Best Buddies. So what's next? A lot of you have already completed your membership application or you've scheduled an interview, but if you have not had a chance to do that, you can go ahead and do it now. This year, there are going to be 2 steps that you must complete if you want to be in Best Buddies and if you want to be matched. So you're going to have to fill out an application and you're also going to have to schedule an interview. Except if you're an associate member, then you only have to do the application. And the deadline is going to be Monday, September 25th by midnight. All right, so I'm gonna give everyone like 3 minutes to try and you can scan these QR codes to get the links to schedule an interview and fill out the application. And then the little QR code in orange right there that's labeled tutorial that has a link to our YouTube channel, which has tutorials on filling out the membership applications for both buddies and peer buddies. So I'll give everyone about 3 minutes and I'll set a timer and you guys can scan the codes. And I'm not expecting you to complete the application in 3 minutes, just have the link open for reference in the future. All right, so I'll start the timer now and then let me know if you have any trouble with it. Tristan, did you have a question? You can also put it in the chat too.
I don't entirely remember.
Sorry, what did you say? Okay, guys, got 2.5 minutes left. See if we can get the music going here. About 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Would you be able to tell me in the chat if I've already gone through the application and done an interview?
Yeah, Tristan, I think you're all good. I'll check
All right.
right after I stop presenting, but I'm like 99% sure you've done both.
All right, that's good enough for me then.
And I'll email you if it ends up that you didn't do one of them.
I think I've done both. It's just that my memory can be spotty.
That's okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you've done both. All right, about 20 more seconds. Get the links. All right, so hopefully everyone has had a chance to take a look at the links here. I'll also be sending it out in an email just in case you didn't get to scan one of them. So for now, we're going to move on to the next slide. And I apologize, there's going to be quite a lot of QR codes here. So we do have a new member guide for this year, which basically has all the information that I've shared in this presentation and a little bit more. We also have some Q&As and intros about the officers. And then the QR code on the right is for our September newsletter, which has all our events for this month and for the beginning of next month as well. So I'll give everyone like 30 seconds to take a look at that. All right, about 10 more seconds.
So for the member guide, QR code. That just brings me to a Google Drive. So which
Oh,
so
so it
which
should.
file?
Mhm. Do you see a
So which
file that's
file are we supposed to look at? Or all
it's a
three?
PDF called Member Guide 2324. Do you see that
Okay.
one?
Yeah, I see that one. I'll open
Perfect.
that.
All right, so we're gonna go on to the next slide for now, but again, I will be emailing this link to everyone in case you didn't get a chance to scan it. All right, so again, a lot of QR codes here. So we have upcoming events. Number one is Bowling with Buddies. That's going to be on October 2nd at the UC Davis Memorial Union Games area. So that's right next to the quad, if you know where that is. And then that's going to be a fundraiser as well. All the money that comes into the games area for those 2 hours that we are hosting the event will go to Best Buddies. And you are all welcome to attend that. You can also invite your friends and family. It's not just Best Buddies members. And then the next event we have is the Match Party, which is on October 22nd. And actually, this is time just got changed to 1 to 2:30 p.m. Instead of 4 to 5:30. And then our last event that we have is the virtual 1989 celebration, because as I mentioned, Best Buddies was founded in 1989, and Taylor Swift was born in 1989, and she is releasing Taylor's version of 1989. So we're going to be doing a little celebration of both of those things. And so, yeah, I have 2 more QR codes for you here, one for the Match Party and one for the 1989 night. If you go ahead and scan those codes, it should bring you to a Best Buddies page that tells you to input your name and your email, and that'll be your RSVP. So I'll give everyone about a minute to do that. Tristan, did you have a question?
So when was the match party rescheduled to?
Yes, I will actually change that right now. So it's going to be 1 to 2:30 p.m. on the 22nd of October.
So it's October 22nd.
Yes.
Oh, that's a Sunday.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And I believe the
So
1989.
1 to 2:30, and it's in the quad, you said?
No, so Bowling with Buddies is going to be next to the quad at the UC Davis Games area.
Oh, that's in the MU, isn't it?
Yes, and then the Match Party will be held at College Park at our advisor's house.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and we'll be sending out more details about that soon. So about 30 more seconds to go ahead and scan those QR codes, and don't feel rushed because we will be sending these links out in an email as well if you didn't get a chance to RSVP for one of them.
I have a question, Caroline.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, so for the virtual 1989 celebration, is it going to be over Zoom or in person? Do you know?
Yeah, it'll be on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
And then just to clarify something real quick, Bowling with Buddies, I did not provide an RSVP link for that because the RSVP link for Bowling with Buddies and for this info night is the same thing. So I know you all RSVP'd to the info night, so you also RSVP'd to Bowling with Buddies as well. All right, let's see. And then let's move on to the next slide. And then we will put those links in the chat too. All right, so this is just our contact information and our social media. So we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook, and you can also email us with any questions that you might have. Let's see. I believe that is, yeah, our last slide. So does anybody have any questions? Let's stop sharing. And feel free to put them in the chat as well if you don't want to unmute yourself.
So for the bowling for the Best Buddies bowling, that's
It's going to be on
So that-
October 2nd.
October 2nd. And what time?
6:30 to 8:30 p.m.
So it's 6 to 6 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30. Okay.
Yes. And then actually, I'm going to put this presentation link in the chat if you want to take a look at it. Any other questions?
I had a question, so I wanted to ask you, Caroline, how long you've been doing Best Buddies for?
Yeah, so I think this is going to be my 7th year in Best Buddies. I started in my freshman year of high school, and I'm now a junior in college. So yeah, it's been a long time.
That's great, Caroline.
Yeah, it's a great organization. All right, let's
Yeah.
see.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I'm Martha Ebel. I'm the aunt of a person with with IDD. And he doesn't use a lot of verbal language. So would I be able to, at least come to the match party with him and then, support him and then see how does the match party go? I guess that's my question.
yeah. So the match party, generally by the time that the match party rolls around, we'll already have figured out who you're going to be paired with.
Okay.
So, and basically we just take the match party to announce the pairs.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you'd like to just kind of check it out, that's totally fine too. Obviously we won't be pairing anyone. Well, we won't be creating any new pairs at the match party. But if you want to just
Okay.
come, but if you want to come and check it out and then see if it's right, you can
Mhm.
also do that and then submit an application after that too.
Okay, well, the other thing I should probably say ahead of time, I like everything you guys are doing in Davis. I found out about this because I was taking Nicholas to golf, so I got on the list and but we live in Fairfield. Is that okay? Like to pair, like I would drive him there and everything?
Yeah, we do have a lot of participants that live in Sacramento or
Okay.
other areas. So as long as they have transportation and they can get to the meetings or get to where their buddy is, that's totally fine too.
Okay. Thank you all for the work.
Yeah. So I know, and sometimes we'll use ASL. So if he uses that, he and I will be able to communicate.
Okay, great. So I don't know if
Okay.
we have any peer buddies that speak ASL currently.
Oh,
But if we do,
you can count me among them because I have a basic level of understanding.
okay, I actually think I did have another participant that wanted to learn ASL, so maybe I could have you
Pair them
guys.
with me, and I can teach them. I also am a polytongue, meaning that I have a wide vocabulary from different languages. So I'm a multimodal polytongue, meaning that I communicate because I know ASL as well as other spoken languages.
Awesome. Well, it's very impressive. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. All
Yeah,
right.
it's a side effect. It's
Uh-huh.
actually quite an interesting detail about me because I'm neurodivergent.
Well,
Urgent,
yeah,
as
I know.
describe myself, because I'm not neurotypical.
Well, yeah, that was a great question, and I will look and see if I can pair you with the person that wanted to learn ASL. Does anyone else have any questions? We got about 6 minutes left. No? Okay, well, other than that, I think we're all good for today. I'm going to go ahead and send out an email to everyone who RSVP'd, basically just giving a summary of the presentation that we did and providing those links to you as well. So yeah, everyone is free to go. If you have a question that maybe you don't want to say it in front of the whole group, I'll stay on for a minute and you can ask me then.